Hello, folks, and thank you for joining us. You won't be disappointed. This will be a 5-part series. It was a 2-hour and 40-minute interview, if you will. And my guest has played bass on multi-platinum albums such as the RIAA certified multi-platinum LP by Debbie Gibson called Electric Youth, which was released on March 29th, 1989, along with a global supporting tour that was filmed for home video release that hit the shelves on October the 29th, 1990, and went platinum on March 18th, 1991. The Southern rock band Point Blank and the American Idol star Casey James, along with a vast array of other brilliant musicians such as sessions with Billy Sheehan and the live performances with George Lynch, Derek St. Holmes of Ted Nugent, Becky Hobbs, and recorded in some of the biggest recording studios on the planet, such as Atlantic Records and Latitude Studios in Nashville. It's been a dream of mine to be able to sit down and talk with this man about music, how things work in the industry, going from clubs into, arenas, and then going into stadiums. And I had seen him not once but twice with 80s pop princess Debbie Gibson. I introduce to you today, my friends, very humbly, Mr. Kirk Powers.
Out of you. Cool, brother. What's up?
No, just living life, trying to get by, I think, like everybody else is.
Yeah,
You know?
one day at a time as we do it.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
It keeps the blood pressure low, especially when we're getting old, like my age right
Oh, hell. Oh, hell. I'm on 2 blood pressure medicines.
now. Oh no, I was looking back in time. I was thinking when you first asked me to do this with you, I was like, oh man, how many years ago was that I met Debbie? And I was trying to think, and because I know she had her 33rd anniversary of the Electric Youth.
The second album.
Right, second album, just a couple
Yeah.
of days ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, so that's 33 years. I'm like, holy crap, man. So I must have known her for 35, 36 years now.
That would have
It's a
been
long
right
time.
around the first album, yeah.
Yeah, we were texting the other day because I was the nerd on the tour. You know, I was the guy with the the old-fashioned video camera, which is big VHS tape in there, and I'm carrying on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And 35 millimeter camera around my neck. And everybody was like, oh, Kirk, what are you doing? And it's like, one day, I'm telling you, you're going to like this. So anyway, she asked me if she could use some of the footage I shot. I said, yeah. I said, it's your song. Of course you
Exactly.
can use it.
And that ain't the first time. She's asked you for other, handwritten stuff before, I believe.
Yeah.
For the box set.
The box set, yeah.
Yeah.
She's a great person. Good boss.
Fantastic.
Really down to earth, really, real cool.
And that surprises me, being as young as she was.
Yeah.
And maybe that was due to her mother, keeping her grounded and being very, I assume, probably protective of her.
I would think so, but not really an overbearing way at all. But just like any parent would, especially in that business, because this business, there's sharks everywhere.
Yeah.
Real, and she turned out really good. We didn't talk for many years. She did her thing, and I left New York and I moved to Texas. I'm here now in Texas, and just her. It's funny because we have a mutual friend that lives in Nashville, and he said, "Man, I'm going to give her your phone number," and she asked for it. So then she calls me one day, and I was like, "Holy crap! You sound exactly the way you did last time I saw you." And she said, "You sound the same thing." I said, "Oh, so nice to hear a New York accent,
Yeah.
when I'm down here."
Now,
so anyway.
I guess I was going to start out with how not really all this came to be, but how you started playing and what made you want to play, and things like that. But before I
Yeah.
forget, you were talking about New York. Now, was you living in New York, I assume, with her when that first, even second album, which was on
Yeah.
Atlantic Records, came out, or you made with her?
Yeah. I didn't do the first record. I helped on the second record. First record was Out of the Blue, and trying to remember how that happened. I was living on Long Island.
Okay.
I mean, everybody's from Long Island up there. Then I mean, Joan Jett, Billy
Yeah.
Joel, just these iconic
I didn't know Joan Jett.
songwriters. Yeah, she was from Long Island. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
she used to rehearse in the same place that we used to rehearse at in Baldwin.
I see.
And yeah, and Debbie Gibson's band would be going in there, and then Joan Jett was going in. Twisted Sister.
Oh, really?
They were rehearsing in the same place. It's called Nino's. It was in Baldwin, a little studio downstairs in this sort of shopping center area. But yeah, meeting Deb. Well, Tommy Williams and I played in the band called Mazarin, and it was a tri-state area in New York. We played Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, a lot of Long Island, and it was the '80s, and we were playing 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a day job at the time too, so man, my tail was getting whooped.
I bet. Yeah. Yeah.
But we had a road crew. We had lights and big gear. I mean, I had huge gear. But anyway, so Tommy and I did that. I was with him in that band for about 3.5 years or so, and then I left to go do something else. And about a year later, Tommy gives me a call. And he goes, "Hey man, there's this chick, and she's young, but she might have a record deal." I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah. Here we go again.
I was telling you a couple days ago when we were talking. I said, "Man, if I had $1 for everybody who said, they're gonna have a record deal, I could probably go out and buy like a brand new Volkswagen."
Yeah. Buy a Yugo.
Oh, that's another story.
We'll get that in a minute, right?
We'll go to that later. Remind me of that one. I'm stupid. So anyway, he called me and he said, "Hey, man, there's this young girl and she has a song and she needs to put a band together. Would you want to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And, a lot of times I said no, but for some reason my gut was saying yeah. So anyway, we got it was me, Adam Tesey on sax, Greg on keyboards, Leo, and Louis Appel, rest in peace, Louis Appel. Loved him as a drummer.
Absolutely.
Loved playing with him. And I'm trying to think if there was anybody else. No, 2 keys, guitar, bass, drums. Yeah. So we went to a studio on Long Island and we learned 5 songs that she had on a possible EP. It wasn't coming out yet. I think that's what happened. It was so long ago.
Now,
and anyway,
can you remember if those songs that they give you ended up being on that first album, or were they just? They were. Okay.
I think it might have been Red Hot.
Uh-huh.
It was definitely Shake Your Love.
Uh-huh, yeah.
That was the single that she had on Atlantic. That was before she actually had the record deal,
which was already out. And if I remember right, that's what she was spinning in clubs before she actually got the complete deal.
Right, and it was doing well. So the record company said, maybe you should put a band together so you go take this out. So we rehearsed the 5 songs for about 4 or 5 days, and then the 5th day, Debbie's management and Debbie came down and she actually sang with us. And we're all thinking like, yeah, okay, cool. And so the night came to an end, and they said, "Man, we love you guys," and they wrote everybody a check. I was like, "Oh wow, this is real." So we all got paid. We got paid for the week of rehearsals and the whole thing. So I was like, "Wow, this is cool." So we wound up going out and doing a bunch of one-off dates. Some radio, some TV promo stuff out in the Midwest, and we'd only played 5 or 6 songs, maybe 7 songs. It would be for like, let's say, a governor's ball or she was always like a special guest.
I see.
So we did that, and that was we did a lot of colleges and a lot of small places. 1,000, maybe a theater, here and there. And that went on for about 6 or 7 months. Then they decided, well, the record. She actually got the deal then on Atlantic, if I remember correctly. And they released the album, and the album did really well. It eventually went triple platinum. It might be quadruple platinum now. I'm not sure, or maybe more. I haven't looked at the stats for many, many years. And then we went out and did the Out of the Blue tour. That was the first one. Yeah.
So did Tommy? Yeah, you just said that Tommy kind of invited you along
Yes.
to partake in that, and did it really pretty much happen that quick?
Um, it was. I'm not gonna say it was quick, but it was definitely a, an ever increasing incline.
I
It
see.
wasn't like this. It was
Yeah.
like slow, but it was like this, and it went slowly up, 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 up. And I was like, wow, this is really amazing. Um, I can't explain the feeling we had then because I was young still. I was in my like mid-20s, and here we are thinking like, oh, we're going to play Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
It's like, Madison Square Garden it's a total mind blower. And that actually did happen before we headlined there. We wound up doing an Atlantic Records 40th anniversary party.
Oh, so
And
that came first
yeah,
with
that came
Led
first.
Zeppelin. All the guys were biggest part of Led Zeppelin.
It was amazing
Yeah.
because when I was in high school, I never got to go see shows because I was always gigging or rehearsing or something. I didn't have any money.
Sure. Yeah.
Even I was a broke musician
Yeah.
and struggling and just like wanted to do what I wanted to do. So I never went to many concerts at all. And here I am. I'm trying to think. My gosh, we were shared dressing rooms with the Bee Gees.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man, I love the friggin' Bee Gees.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm walking out down the hallway, and there's Michael Douglas. Hey, Michael, what's up? And then Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, they were hanging out in the hallway. I'm like, this is like blowing my mind. So Foreigner went on before us, and then we went on, and then I believe maybe Phil Collins went on after us. I can't recall. I have the sheet paper somewhere. The whole
Kind of
the way
syllabus
the night
or the order of things.
Yeah.
No,
Go ahead.
no, really.
No,
I
your turn.
I remember me and my cousin walking across town to get a VHS tape, and we had to make sure that we recorded it on ESP or EP. I can't remember what the slowest speed was to give you 6 to 8 hours.
Was it SP?
It might have been SP.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And then we walked all the way to his dad's house, stuck it in there, and recorded the whole show because we didn't have cable. He did, and we wasn't going to miss that because he was such a big fan as well.
It was an all-day event.
Yeah.
It's really funny because we sound checked on a Thursday, and I think the show might have been on Friday. Whatever. I know we sound checked the day before, and after we sound checked, I just sat in the audience. There was nobody there. It was Madison Square Garden, and there might have been the band, whoever was sound checking on stage, and maybe 50 guys in the crew. The place is empty, and I'm watching Led Zeppelin sound check. I was like, this is freaking me out. Then Yes sound checked. Emerson, Lake and Palmer sound checked. Phil Collins sound checked. I'm just watching. This is
How the
amazing.
hell did I get here?
Yeah, it was really cool.
I
was kind of beside myself, but I was also very appreciative of
Yeah. You've always been that way for as long as I've known you. Very gracious, very humble person.
Thank you.
You can't say that. I mean, you've met the people. You can't say that about a lot of these people.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. I've played with some pretty big names, people. I'm really blessed to do that. And it seems like some of the bigger name people are always more chilled and relaxed. And then I'll go and do a private party, like a wedding gig or something, and it's real uptight, and everybody's like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's like, man, it's crazy. Just relax. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
We're pros. We know what we're doing. It's going to go great. But anyway. Mm-hmm.
So the first tour took off, the Out of the Blue tour, and you were doing small places. And then, if I remember right, you said that eventually went into the hockey arenas, the 4,000, 5,000 seat venues.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I caught you, I believe, because I was right around 4,000, 5,000 seat venues, oddly enough, at a college amphitheater.
Yeah.
And
we started that was the Out of the Blue tour. And I think we started that in Worcester, Massachusetts. and that was an arena gig. I forgot the name of the place. I can't remember.
Yeah,
You know,
long time
but
ago.
it's probably 10,000. You know, that's when the Out of the Blue thing, we started doing the 9, 10, some like 20,000s. You know, like the bigger places, and a lot of outdoor venues too. We called them sheds back then.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it might have been like the Blossom Center, maybe in Cincinnati. I think that's the name of the place. And there might be 5,000-6,000 people underneath the awning, and then the big grass area
Oh yeah, yeah.
behind it. And those are the best because the catering was always fantastic. And sometimes they were at like an amusement park or something. So, after your sound check, we got to go ride the roller coasters and everything. I was like, man, this is freaking awesome. I was young. I had a great time.
Sure. Getting
Catering
paid to
was
live the
always good.
dream.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah. How I got into bass playing, man, that goes way back to grammar school. I actually went to a Catholic school, and a friend of mine was a guitar player, and they needed somebody to play bass. So I just picked it up and started playing James Gang songs, some Jethro Tull stuff. And I think the reason I really got into it because I hated to dance when I was a kid. And I thought to myself, well, if I play bass, I don't have to dance. I can just be on stage and let the chicks come to me.
yeah.
And that's what we were thinking. It's like, yeah, chicks. So, and it worked. We were 18, 19 years old. Or I was younger. I was probably 15, 16 years old playing dances. And,
Now, as time progressed, did you learning how to read charts? Was there lessons involved?
Sorry.
And was the music union involved as well? How was that path, if that even was the path?
Let's see. As far as lessons, I took a few guitar lessons when I was real young. Maybe 8 or 9 years old, and my fingers were hurt. Because you're pressing these strings and you have these little kid hands, and it was an acoustic guitar, and I put it down for years. And that's when I met my friend in when we were going to Catholic school, and he was a guitar player, like I just said a minute ago, and he needed a bass player, so we started playing Jethro Tull and James Gang, music like that, more rock stuff.
Yeah.
Somewhat prog, but also rhythm and blues, old Stones, and as far as reading charts, I never, I use a lot of charts now because I'll do sessions and things like that, and but back then it was more just learning everything by ear and learning how to play with other players, and I think that really helped me quite a bit. A lot of guys start that way. And playing with it, I'm able to ear train and hear a change that might, instead of if you see it and you're reading it, you may not get it, but so use your ear.
And by doing it that way, you usually know, like you said, with playing other musicians and things like that, you get that feel. Every musician is different, but when those changes are usually coming up, just by how music is generally just written in one type of way. Change it, G, C, and D. There's a certain formula that, just applies to about every instrument, and that's pretty much the fundamentals of that.
Well, that, and you could feel when a chorus is going to come.
Yeah, it pushes a bit.
And after a while, you start to get an instinct for 1-6-2-5 or whatever numbers you're using, whatever chords you're playing. You kind of get an instinct for that. There's always a couple curveballs, such as one of my favorite bands from the 90s was a band called Jellyfish.
Yeah,
and they had some of the coolest changes, and it was really different. You could really, it was almost hard to second guess it. You couldn't just go into a gig and play those songs. You had to know the song.
Yeah.
But reading charts in New York City, I did a lot of chart reading, not much notation.
Mm-hmm.
I played saxophone in the many years ago, so I learned G clef, but I was never able to get my head out of that G clef, so I never learned bass clef.
I see.
I was like, man, I just never did. I never needed it until now.
Uh-huh.
Now I need it, but so.
So pretty much did what any other musician did, just get out there and play as much as you can.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. actually playing as much as you possibly can. Um, it, you could play only one at home in your basement and get everything together, but getting out and playing with people is where you're going to learn. And also, it's a social thing. Learning how to deal with other people, work with other people.
And I always thought that was a big